Welcome to Module 1, Lesson 2. Today we're going to keep working with multiplying and dividing by powers of 10, and we're going to start to try to visualize what's going on with the place value chart without always using it. One thing you should be able to do is very quickly at any time, just quickly sketch a place value chart. So if I were to do that quickly, I could draw a nice horizontal line, put my decimal point. I like to put a dotted line for the decimal. And then I'm going to put ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundred, thousands. So this is my thousands period, and this is my ones period. Then on the decimal side, I have my tenths, my hundredths, my thousands, my 10,000s, however far I want to go. And we can just draw our vertical lines like so. So I quickly rewrote my chart here to give me some room at the bottom to work from. But if I have 13 hundredths times 100, I'm going to start by writing my number up in my place value chart. There's my 13, there's my decimal point. And I'm going to be, I want to start to visualize this, but this is what's happening. My 1 is getting 10, 100 times larger or 2 places to the left. My 3 is getting 10, 100 times larger, 2 places to the left. There it is. My decimal point stays put. The number of zeros actually tells me how many places I'm going to be moving my digits. And so I'm going to end up with that answer of 13. And there's my decimal point if I want to place it. So for our next problem, I have 54,000 divided by 10. And if you can picture in your mind that place value chart, to make all of these 10 times smaller, they need to go one place to the right. So the 10,000s is going to become 5,000. The 4,000 is going to become 400. The 0 is going to become 0 tens, and the 0 tens is going to become 0 ones, and the 0 ones actually is going to become 0 tenths. But I don't really need to write that. So my answer here is going to become 5,400. Again, 10 tells me that every one of these digits over here need to go one place to the right. Here's our next problem, 4,031 and 2/10 divided by 100. And I don't know if you can, in your mind, visualize. There's your decimal place and my tenths place and ones and tens and hundreds and thousands. And if I'm making it 100 times smaller, they all have to shift 2 places to the right. And so with my decimal point staying exactly where it is, if these digits go over 2 places to the right, that 1 is going to end up over here. That 3 is going to end up in the tenths place, and so on and so forth. Kind of like the decimal moving left 2 places. And I'm going to get an answer of 40 and 312 thousandths. Again, it kind of appears that I have my 2 zeros and my digit moved 2 places to the left. Really, the digits moved to the right. A lot of times you're going to be asked to describe how you got an answer, what process you used, and that's sometimes tricky to put into words. So I want to try to help you out with that here. This is a typical question that might be on your homework. Explain how you decided to place the decimal point in the quotient. For the below problem, I have 152 divided by 100. So we need to go back to our first lesson, and we need to visualize the place value chart. So I'm going to start my explanation with that. And when dividing by powers of 10, the number of zeros really tells you how many places you're going to move your digit, because that's 10 times 100 times. So as I'm visualizing that place chart, I know I need to move my digits to make them 100 times smaller. So each of these digits is going to move 2 places to the right. So as my decimal point started here, if they move 2 places to the right, Now my decimal point is going to be here. I'm going to get an answer of 1 and 52 hundredths. So I wrote, when dividing by powers of 10, the number of zeros tells me how many places the digits shift to the right. When dividing by 100, the digits shift 2 places to the right. So I have explained exactly the thought process for placing that decimal point. That's it for today's lesson.